Hey, this is Malcolm again. Um, well, I have so many CDs here. It's like I have about a sack full. Do you want to win one of these CDs? Do you like Ollie Mars? He's from England. Um, yeah. This is my review for Celebrity Apprentice. I just watched episode 3, and the reason I didn't review episode 2 was basically I didn't have time and it wasn't really like entertaining. So let me put my reading glasses on and try to think about what actually happened so you get the whole gist of it. First of all, the episode was amazing. I just didn't like the end. I was disappointed. I wanted a grand finale. Everybody know I'm rooting for Omarosa, but now actually I'm really sad. I'm really sad because first of all, the episode came way too soon. Like, I thought who's the most disrespectful person sitting in this room right now? That was going to be one of the later, let me get more comfortable. That was going to be one of the later episodes, but it actually ended up, like, coming totally early. So, I was a little, I was a little disappointed. And also, yeah, I just thought they was gonna stay long in the competition because what that the scene, as a like because you know how always okay, this scene still didn't happen, so these both they're not gonna be fired. Um, what they had to do this time around was create a soap opera around a water brand, which his name is Crystal Light Liquid, whatever, liquid water, something like these shows never make me want to buy the product though. It's like I always forget the brand, so it's funny. Um, that was the whole um thing they had to do, create a soap opera that includes the criteria that they would be fired on were um creativity, execution, what was it? Crowd reaction and brand messaging. Those were the four criteria. The project manager for the chocolate team, for Team Power was Latoya Jackson, and the other project manager was Stephen Baldwin. Now you know I only care about the black team. I don't even what they do is like, oh yeah, boring, old white male persons, nah, you know. um, so I'm gonna start with them. Well, the way Steven's team worked, there wasn't much going on actually. It was quite boring. Steven was very aggressive in his directing style. Gary Busey was just Gary Busey. Um, very disruptive, but he still did his thing. And it's like I get his point too. Like if because of course at the end of the boardroom they would all be like Gary's the weakest player, Gary's the weakest, blah blah blah. And it's like no, he's not the weakest. Just be like we don't have a weakest player. And the way Lil Jon, because Lil Jon later on was asked the same question, he answered that question really nice though. He's very political about things. So I love Lil Jon. And so they go brainstorming the black team. Now let me go in detail on Team Power. They go brainstorming. Latoya got Omarosa right together because Omarosa was being, and I love her, and I represent her, and she's a smart, conniving bitch, and I love that. But there's a line, and she was just not being like it's gonna come back to stab her in the end. And I thought at this point I was ready to let her go and was like, okay, Omarosa is gonna be fired, and I'm rooting for somebody else because the way she acted on this episode, I don't like her anymore. I don't like her anymore. Like it's she won me back though. I'm a, let me okay wait. So she won me back at one point. I was like, yes, Omarosa. I got my life because she was so smart about it. But um let me go back. They were brainstorming and Omarosa was being so disrespectful. She was always had sneaky comments, those remarks, always being vicious, always being mean and whatever. And Latoya was just trying to be nice, and she was very respectful. She's just, could you please be quiet? And she's like, don't be like calling me. Don't disrespect me. I could turn up. I could trill up. And Latoya was like, who's the most disrespectful person sitting in this room right now? And she just got her together, and she told her politely, without insulting, without going off, that she was not having none of it. And she was strong, and I was like, yes, Latoya, because I root for Omarosa. I was like, yes, Latoya, because you are right. And I was just so, I really wanted Latoya to just, yeah, I wanted Latoya to just handle her, and she did. But Omarosa, Omarosa is a very well-spoken person, definitely, and she thinks out everything. So it's hard to battle her. And then she always has this Michael Clark Duncan thing that she could always use that as a final card that she could always play, and she did play it out, and not even in a bad way, because she knew she wasn't going to be able to perform. And then there is a 911 call, so I mean, there is that call, but I do think she was opportunistic about it. I don't even know if that's something you could fault her for, because it's a game. Why not 2-1? If I could stay in a competition and handle my business, I've been at that position maybe where I use something, to my advantage maybe sometimes. So I don't even know if that was wrong, but I just don't like the way she's being so obviously mean, obviously cutthroat. You need to be smart about it, be clever, and more subliminal about it. And she doesn't quite know how to do that. Yet she makes great points. But I was over her by that time, because the bitch left, and it's like, yeah, you had to handle yourself, but you could have still acted, and you could have still done the thing. And she didn't do it, and I was like, okay, Omarosa must go. Um, so they performed the soap opera, and I thought it was cool. I thought it was nice. Um, and yeah, but at the end of the day, the other team also did the soap opera performance. The Lil Jon team, the black team, they was like, you drink a shot every time this do 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 came on, and that was a cute idea. And the other team, they had like, the more flavor you add, the more romantic it's gonna get. Actually, I thought Lil Jon's team, that was the better idea, but it was less well executed, definitely. But it was more creative. We don't know what the crowd reaction result was. I do think the black team could have won, but I do think the other team, the white team, rightfully won as well. So I wasn't mad about which team won. And then my racist self, I was like, man, just get rid of Omarosa. It's gonna hurt, but do it, cause she needs to be fired. Anyways, I think that's how Donald Trump sometimes feel about keeping a black person over white. He's like, I gotta do the right thing. So you fired. No, no, I don't. I don't know. I don't think he's racist. I really don't think so. And well, so they go to the boardroom, and I love the boardroom. And that's when Omarosa, because I was like, oh, that bitch is going home. She's going home. She's definitely going home. She trailed up. She just trailed up. Arsenio was trying to get at her. She had it all mapped out. Unapologetically. I would do for my man, because that's my man. She could have been eliminated and saved face. But people would have seen right through, but she would have still saved face, because that's such a touchy subject. Omarosa is just one conniving, devilish bitch. I like her less, though, because I want, Latoya could have been eliminated if, but I'm sorry, but Latoya was stupid for not bringing her back. If Latoya would have brought her back, and then Omarosa would have fought this hard that Latoya finna go home, then I would have liked Omarosa more. But the fact that she didn't have to fight, you can't be mad at her, though. When I think about it, I can't be mad at her, because I'm mad at Latoya. I felt sorry for Latoya. I felt sorry for my sis, because I was like, they were in the boardroom, and Omarosa, she made great points. What she said, well, there is no merits to fault me, because basically I wasn't there, and I had a very substantial reason not to be there. And actually, I mean, Trace Atkins wasn't there because he had a trip with Blake Shelton or whatever it is. So that is a good point to make. And she was like, you know what? I could have played Alexis. She could have played Alexis. It doesn't matter, because the grounds or the merits that we lost over. We're not. That was not the part of it. Reason why we lost was brand messaging and execution, but mainly brand message. That was her point. But Ivanka Trump got her together, and she was like, "No, it's not exactly about um, understanding the brand. It's about using it as the core element of your show." That's what and I love Ivanka. Ivanka is so hot. Ivanka is so she always looks perfect. I love Donald Trump children. I said it before in a previous video. I was like, Donald Trump, if you want to adopt a German dude, you need to adopt me because I think your family is just sickening. They're so cool and they're well spoken. They're always well dressed, perfectly snatched. Love the Trump family. To go back to Apprentice, I need to wrap this up because I need to sleep and I have to wake up tomorrow and really work. Um, yes, Latoya gets asked, who do you take to the boardroom with you to battle it out? And I'm like, yes, okay, she finna fight with Omarosa, but I'm ready. At this point, I was ready to let Omarosa go because the way she acted, yeah, it was clever, smart, whatever, but it went below the line, and I don't like it anymore. I'm not feeling it. I feel like you need to be classy, and I think you need to be a little more elegant with it, and she doesn't quite have that. I think Star Jones, she was amazing at that. Star Jones, a conniving traveling bitch, but she was still kind. Like you wouldn't like she, whatever. She brought Brandy back, which I was glad because like please fire Brandy. Then we have an all black team. Yes, didn't happen. But she brought Brandy back, and she brought Dennis back, and I'm like, okay, let's see. She was sure of her decision. She brought those two back. So I'm like, okay, maybe she got a plan. Maybe who knows? My sis Latoya, she might make Dennis get fired or something. So, and I was hoping maybe Gary Busey would eliminate himself. I was hoping for some special twist or nobody get eliminated. Whatever. She brings them both back. And here I was thinking, if I was Latoya and I bring them back, I'll be ready to make my case on why these motherfuckers should be eliminated because all she had to say was, Mr. Trump, I thought you bought her sob story. And that let me know Latoya, she don't know how to play the game for real. So that's why she had to be eliminated because she had to come back and she should have said like, Mr. Trump, the reason I didn't bring back Omarosa was I felt as though because she had her issue with her husband that I dearly respect, I'm not quite sure if I should believe her, but it is what it is. There was no merit on actually faulting her because she can't take the blame since she couldn't have done anything wrong because she didn't do anything. So there was no I felt like there were no grounds on actually firing her, and that's why I was forced to go with the other two, which are Brandy, and I picked Brandy because she was responsible for brand placement, whatever. Think of something smart. Try to twist it around. And I picked Dennis because as Lil Jon assessed, and I truly believe that too, moving forward in this game, he is the weakest player, and he does what come up with something. But she let them talk. Basically, there was no way to because she didn't even have control of it. They're not going to do the work to fire others. They're not going to make the case. So I felt so sorry for Latoya. It didn't feel good when she left. I felt like, man, I felt so sorry for her, and she was truly sad. And I thought there was so much potential in Latoya, and she was such a strong woman, and I really like her, and I really, really, really was rooting for her. And I know there's no way she's gonna come back, but I mean, she's gonna be in a final episode. I hope so. So that will give her a chance to redeem herself, and for me to get to see her again. At this point, I don't know if I'm still rooting for Omarosa. I love Penn from the other team. I think he's incredibly smart, incredibly well spoken, and such an amazing player of the game. And I do also think Lil Jon is great. I like those two a lot. And I do still like Omarosa a bit, I guess, but not after. I think she should, but it's not her fault either because she's just. I mean, I can't really. So I'm on the fence about her. As for the others, Claudia and Brandy and Lisa and the other females, Latoya and Omarosa were the people that I like the most. So, but Penn is just great. I think he's just incredibly great. I think his ideas and the way he's able to really formulate his sentences to the point where you can't fault him, where it's very politically correct, very smart, very honest too. I think he's great, and I think he should win. Honestly, if he gets fired, I think it's going to be something where he will orchestrate it. He doesn't seem like the type of person that gets thrown under the bus or played. If he be fired, then he maybe took a risk, and then he's gonna orchestrate his firing. Um, so that was the review. It took me way too long, but tell me what you think, and stay tuned. And I hope maybe I'll be there for the next episode to review it. And tell me, I love my T-shirt. And tell me, who are you rooting for? And yes, and what do you think of Latoya Omarosa situation? And thank you so much for watching. And I love you.